The night God cleared the room, chosen one stopped scrolling. This wasn't rejection. This wasn't bad luck. This wasn't people randomly walking away. God cleared the room. On purpose. Suddenly the call slowed down. The invitation stopped. The support felt distant. And you thought you did something wrong. But what if I told you heaven was making space? Silence entered your life not to punish you, but to prepare you. Because what's coming next cannot be built in a crowded room. And not everyone clapping for you is meant to stay for your elevation. When distance is divine, you notice the shift. Conversations felt forced. Energy felt off. People you once laughed with couldn't understand you anymore. That wasn't disconnection. That was elevation. Chosen ones outgrow environments quietly. Your spirit begins vibrating at a frequency that discomforts those still asleep. And instead of shrinking, you kept evolving. So God removed what no longer aligned. The loneliness that sharpened you. Isolation is not abandonment. It is refinement. When the noise left, you were left with yourself. And that's when the real work began. You faced your fears without distraction. You questioned your identity without external validation. You learned to sit in silence without escaping it. That kind of growth only happens in an empty room. What it means to be chosen. Being chosen is not popularity. It's pressure. It's awareness. It's responsibility. You feel deeply in a shallow world. You see patterns others ignore. You question systems others obey blindly. That awareness isolates you before it elevates you. Chosen ones are not meant to blend in. They are meant to disrupt illusions. Why society feels threatened by you. You don't follow trends easily. You don't worship status. You don't silence your intuition for comfort. And that unsettles people. A conscious person in an unconscious system becomes a mirror. And not everyone wants to see their reflection. So instead of growing, they project. Instead of understanding, they distance themselves. That distancing was protection. The signs God is preparing you for more. You crave depth over drama. You value peace over popularity. You feel called to something bigger, but can't explain it yet. You sense a shift before it happens. You feel uncomfortable in spaces you once tolerated. You outgrow people without hatred. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. Why the room had to be cleared. Not everyone can sit at the table where your destiny unfolds. Some were only meant for a chapter, not the whole story. If they stayed, they would distract you, delay you, drain you. God removes before He reveals. He isolates before He elevates. He empties before He fills. The cleared room is not empty. It's sacred. The power you discovered in solitude. You became your own validation, your own confirmation, your own support system. You stopped begging to be understood. Stopped chasing approval. Stopped explaining your vision to those who couldn't see it. That inner stability is dangerous in the best way. The breakthrough built in silence. While others thought you were falling off, you were leveling up. While they stopped checking on you, you started checking into yourself. Growth that happens in silence lasts longer. Strength built in private doesn't crumble in public. The room had to clear so you could hear divine instruction clearly. This is your confirmation. If you felt alone lately, misunderstood, separated from old circles, this is not loss. This is alignment. This is positioning. This is preparation for access. The next season of your life requires clarity, not crowds. The moment you stopped needing them, something shifted when you stopped chasing, when you stopped proving, when you stopped explaining. That surrender activated authority. You realized your calling doesn't require consensus. And the moment you embodied that truth, the atmosphere around you changed. Your elevation requires space. Big visions suffocate in small rooms. Massive purpose cannot breathe in limited environments. Your expansion demanded room. So God cleared it. Not because you were losing, but because you were ready. This is where you step into your power. Don't misinterpret isolation as failure. Don't mislabel elevation as rejection. Don't confuse divine removal with abandonment. You are being positioned. You are being strengthened. You are being trusted with more. And not everyone can go where you're going. Chosen one, if this message found you at the exact moment you needed it, that's not coincidence. That's confirmation. This is your sign to stop shrinking. Stop doubting. Stop questioning what you already feel in your spirit. Like this video, if you know God has been separating you for a reason. Subscribe to Chosen Wave if you're ready to embrace your awakening fully. And comment below, what has God removed from your life recently that now makes sense? When the separation felt personal. At first it hurt. You replayed conversations in your head. Wondered where it shifted. Questioned if you were too intense, too honest, too different. But the truth is, your growth made comfort impossible for some people. You weren't too much. You were too aware. And awareness disrupts dynamics built on illusion. The friendships that expired quietly. No fight. No dramatic ending. Just distance. Just silence. Just a slow fade. That quiet expiration was mercy. Because not every ending needs chaos. Some endings are gentle exits guided by divine timing. You didn't lose connection. You completed it. Why your family may not understand you. Chosen ones often awaken first in their bloodline. You break patterns no one talks about. You question cycles others normalize. You feel called to heal what was ignored for generations. That makes you different. Sometimes isolated. But pioneers are rarely understood while building new paths. The internal war before external peace. Before the room cleared physically, it cleared internally. Old beliefs collapsed. Old fears surfaced. Old identities dissolved. You felt like you were losing yourself, but you were actually shedding survival versions. The masks, the coping strategies, the roles you played to belong. Why you started craving solitude. Noise became exhausting. Surface conversations felt empty. You began protecting your energy like it was sacred. Because it is. Your spirit matured. And maturity values peace over popularity. Solitude stopped feeling lonely. It started feeling powerful. The reason your circle got smaller. Smaller circles mean clearer vision. Fewer voices mean stronger intuition. Less distraction means faster alignment. Quality replaces quantity. Depth replaces noise. Truth replaces performance. Your circle didn't shrink. It refined. When God RMOVES, He reveals. After separation comes clarity. You start seeing why certain doors closed. Why certain plans failed. Why certain people left. What felt like loss becomes strategy. What felt like delay becomes protection. You begin connecting dots you couldn't see before. The confidence that grew in silence. You stopped announcing your moves. Stopped seeking approval. Stopped explaining your vision. And something powerful happened. Your confidence became internal. It no longer depended on applause. It no longer needed witnesses. That kind of confidence shifts destiny. Why your next level requires obedience. Elevation demands discipline. It demands focus. It demands obedience to your inner voice. The room was cleared, so distractions wouldn't compete with your calling. You are being trained to trust divine instruction without debate. Because where you're going, hesitation is costly. The season of rebuilding differently. You're not rebuilding the same life. You're building aligned, intentional, conscious. No more forcing connections. No more chasing validation. No more shrinking to keep peace. This rebuild carries wisdom. And wisdom attracts favor. When you realized you were outgrowing your old self, there was a moment you couldn't go back. Not because you hated your past, but because you no longer fit inside it. Old reactions felt foreign. Old habits felt heavy. You tried to respond the way you used to, but it didn't feel right anymore. Growth made certain behaviors impossible. You weren't pretending. You were transforming. The shift from seeking to knowing. Before you asked for signs constantly. You needed reassurance. You needed confirmation. Now you just know. That quiet certainty in your chest. That's spiritual maturity. You don't panic like you used to. You don't chase answers desperately. You trust timing more than emotion. Why God removed the audience? Not everything is meant to be witnessed. Some seasons are sacred, private, protected. If everyone stayed watching, their opinions would contaminate your obedience. So the audience was dismissed, not because you weren't worthy of support, but because your obedience had to be pure. The power of being misunderstood. Being misunderstood used to frustrate you. Now it frees you. You don't need universal approval anymore. Misunderstanding creates space. Space creates focus. Focus creates momentum. Not everyone is meant to interpret your assignment. Some are only meant to observe from a distance. Why your energy feels different now. You walk slower. You speak more intentionally. You react less emotionally. You observe more than you respond. People feel it. They may not say it, but they sense the shift. You are no longer operating from survival. You are operating from alignment. When peace became your standard, chaos used to feel normal. Drama felt familiar. Now it feels foreign. You don't entertain confusion. You don't negotiate with disrespect. You don't romanticize dysfunction. Peace isn't boring to you anymore. It's powerful. The doors that are quietly opening. You may not see fireworks yet, but subtle shifts are happening. New connections, unexpected ideas, fresh opportunities forming in silence. Breakthrough doesn't always knock loudly. Sometimes it unfolds gently, and only those paying attention notice it first. Why this season requires discipline. Elevation without discipline collapses quickly. You are being shaped to sustain what's coming. Consistency over emotion. Focus over distraction. Purpose over comfort. The room was cleared so you could build without interference. And what you're building now carries weight. The trust test you just passed. You didn't beg to stay where you were unwanted. You didn't force what was fading. You didn't compromise your standards to keep company. That restraint was noticed. That obedience mattered. That surrender unlocked something unseen. You passed a level most people fail. What happens after the clearing? Clarity increases. Discernment sharpens. Confidence stabilizes. Vision expands. The noise fades permanently. And in the quiet, you finally hear who you truly are. When you stopped explaining yourself, there was a shift when you realized explanations were exhausting. Not everyone asking questions wanted understanding. Some wanted control. Some wanted access. So you became selective. Selective with words. Selective with energy. Selective with presence. And suddenly peace increased. The strength you built in private. No one saw the discipline. No one saw the tears. No one saw the nights you chose growth over impulse. But heaven did. And private obedience builds public authority. You were strengthening muscles no one applauds. Patience, restraint, discernment. That strength will soon be visible. Why you no longer fear being alone. Alone doesn't scare you anymore. You've met yourself there. You've faced your shadows there. You've healed parts of you no one knew were broken. Solitude introduced you to your real power. And now company is a choice, not a necessity. The identity you're stepping into. You're no longer the wounded version. Not the insecure version. Not the approval-seeking version. You're stepping into authority. Into clarity. Into spiritual confidence. This version of you doesn't chase. It attracts. Why delays are starting to make sense. Looking back, you see it clearly. If that relationship worked, you would have settled. If that opportunity opened early, you would have been unprepared. If that person stayed, they would have distracted you. Delay protected destiny. Rejection redirected vision. Loss preserved alignment. Now you understand. The calm before acceleration. There's a stillness right now. A strange calm. Almost like everything is holding its breath. That's not stagnation. That's positioning. Acceleration requires alignment first. And alignment is happening beneath the surface. Why you feel less reactive now. Things that once triggered you barely move you. Drama feels childish. Conflict feels unnecessary. You've mastered emotional regulation through pain. You respond instead of react. You observe instead of absorb. That maturity is a sign of elevation. The new standard you refuse to lower. You've raised your expectations. Not out of ego. Out of experience. You know what misalignment costs. You know what overgiving drains. You know what silence protects. And you refuse to go backwards. This is your moment to respond. Chosen one, if this message hit your spirit, don't scroll away like it was random. This was confirmation. God didn't clear the room to leave you empty. He cleared it because you're stepping into authority. This is your season to stop doubting what you already feel. If you know in your soul that separation was preparation, prove it to yourself right now. Like this video as a declaration that you trust the process. Subscribe to Chosen Wave if you're ready to walk boldly in your calling and stop shrinking your light. And comment below, what has God removed from your life that you now realize was protection?